Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Today we're going to do a chocolate cake that's on the back of this container. Back here gives you the cake recipe and the icing recipe, and we're going to try that. If you see me moving, my chair rolls by itself. So we're going to try that today, and we're going to do like a little bake with me and chit chat about Valentine's Day. Maybe something that maybe stuff that your family does. Um, Maybe some traditions that you might have. I'll try to tell you everything that as I'm measuring it. The first thing this recipe calls for is 2 cups of sugar. So that's what we're going to start with, is our 2 cups of sugar. And as I'm measuring that, one tradition that we have that my mom and dad started when my kids were old enough to eat, like solid food, like chocolate and candy and stuff, is they would go get get them a small box of the heart-shaped candies. But my dad would always, every year when I was growing up, he would go get me and my mom a box of candy, and it would be funny because he'd he'd hand my mom hers, and he would come in my room and throw mine on the end of my bed, and wouldn't directly hand it to me. He just threw it on my bed and say Happy Valentine's Day. And if it was a school day, he'd tell me it's time to get up for school. And it's something I always remember that he did. It was, anybody that knew my dad knew that he liked to pick on me and give me a hard way to go. He gave me a hard way to go all the way up until he passed away about 7 years ago. And my mom used to tell me, even on his deathbed, he had to give me a run for my money. And he sure did that. Then the next thing that we're going to measure out is 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. Let's see here. Then after my dad passed away, my mom kept up with getting me and my kids the heart-shaped boxes of candy. And then she would have my kids pick out my husband something for Valentine's Day. And then after my mom passed about almost 3 years ago, I started trying to get my kids a little heart-shaped Valentine, just to kind of keep it going. And this year I did get them their own small box of candy. I do have it put away. I would show it to y'all, but just in case they might watch this video, I'm going to leave it out, and I'll do tomorrow you'll see what I got. I'm going to do a video of what I got my kids, and actually, yeah, I went and bought my own Valentine's Day present, because my husband, he don't shop. So it's easier for me just to, when I go get the kids stuff, to get my own stuff. In case you're wondering, use this for icing, but I use it to also, when I measure my flour and sugar and stuff, to level everything out, make sure it's even. Okay. And then what me and my husband do is we plan to fix a dinner at home. Like this year we were doing New York strip steak with baked potatoes and broccoli and cheese. And instead of going out to eat, that's what we're doing. So the next thing that we need is a 3/4 cup of your cocoa powder. Don't shoot me if I'm saying it wrong, because I could be saying it wrong. I've heard people say it two different ways, so I'm going to say it the way I say it. Or I know how to say it, let's put it that way. It sounds good to me. It calls for, I think, a cup of boiling water on here. Yeah, I got my water boiling already for the sole purposes of this video. I'm making a mess. And you gotta heat your oven to 350, which I haven't done yet. Okay, so now we got that done. Next thing we're going to do is 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1.5 teaspoons baking soda. So here's my baking powder. We need 1.5 teaspoons of it. Okay. Now let's do our baking soda. And this cake would be something good if you wanted to like slice strawberries and put on top of it, since it is a chocolate cake with chocolate icing. Or you could do white icing if you wanted to. I'm just going to do chocolate because it's on the back of the box, container, whatever you want to call it. Now we need 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and that takes care of all of our dry ingredients now. And get my whisk here. And I'm using a 9 by 13 pan to make this cake. Now you could use the recipe calls for 9-inch round cakes. Cake pans if you wanted to do a layered cake. I don't mind doing layered cakes, but for it to come out even, I'd have to drag out my scale that I have when I get my meat. I separate my meat down into 1 pound increments instead of leaving them into 2 pound packs. I promise one day I will get a grocery haul video out for you guys. It's just usually when I go to the grocery store while the kids is in school, I'm by myself, and time I get everything carried in, it's just I'm done. Some don't know, I have, I'm not trying to whine, moan, or complain. I have narrowing of the lower spine in my back. Can't remember what it's called. But, and then I have arthritis in both my knees, and what goes on with my back, it causes my legs to get tired and stuff. And usually after I go grocery shopping, I'm done for the day. Okay, next thing. Okay, so now I add in my eggs, milk, oil, and vanilla. This says to use the mixer, but I'll just use my whisk and stuff here, so that way y'all can hear me. So I need I have 2 eggs here. I have my cup of milk, and I'm gonna get ready to measure my half a cup of what they say have vegetable oil in here, but I just have canola oil. Let's hope I have a half a cup, cause I ain't trying to go to the store to get any. Yep, I sure do have a half a cup. How's that for us today? That's really good. Yeah, the person that usually takes me to the store, last couple times I've been rushed to get in and get out. And I don't do good when I'm rushed getting in and getting out because I forget stuff. Okay, now I'm doing our 2 eggs. Maybe I'm going to do 2 eggs if I can get them to crack here. But oh no, for Valentine's Day around here, we don't really do. Hold on, y'all. There we go. We don't really go overboard on Valentine's Day. I think the only time that we really go overboard is at Christmas. Since our kids' birthdays are a year and 8 days apart, we don't really do anything big for their birthday as well. It kind of makes it too hard to do. Because where they're so close together, now they're pretty much teenagers, so they kind of don't like all the little cheap toys that we could use to get them. I'm doing a cup of milk and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, so now we're going to mix all this up. Like I said, it says to use the mixer, but I'm just doing it by hand. That way you can hear me talk. And now on the thing, one of the directions on the container, it says after you add the hot water, your batter will be a little bit thin. And I have toothpicks I've had to hide because at the last place that me and my family lived at, I had some ornery little boys that would come in and thought I had a bunch of money to keep spending on toothpicks, and they would come in and get them when I wasn't looking and waste them. And around my house, we don't do waste. And so I had to now I just hide them. We don't have those little boys running in and out now. Okay, so now, and the purpose, some are probably like, why do they have you adding hot water? The purpose of the boiling hot water is to keep your cake moist as you were baking it in the oven. And you can also, like, sometimes add, instead of milk, you can add buttermilk, and you can also add a package of chocolate pudding. That's something that I've learned from one of my aunts. She would add a package of pudding in her cakes when she made them, so that way they would be come out nice and moist. Just a second, I'm gonna measure out my 1 cup of water here. Ooh. Okay. So before I add that in, I need to see how long we bake this thing for. Okay, so about 30 to 35 minutes. And in here I buy the cooking spray that has the flour in it, so I don't have to do all that. I can just spray the pan and be done with it. And no, I won't throw this in the sink. I don't want to break my, it was my mom's measuring cup, and I don't want to break it, so we won't throw that in the sink like I do everything else that's not breakable. And I don't throw the bowl in there either after I get done with it. So what are some of y'all's Valentine's Day traditions and things that y'all do? Leave it down in the comments. Like I said, we try to make the day as special as we can for our kids. And let them see, you don't have to spend a lot of money to make the day nice. My kids are not big on eating out. They would rather eat at home. Me cook a nice meal, we eat at home. Oh, we're going to do baked macaroni and cheese. My daughter calls it macaroni casserole. And it took me a while to figure out what she was talking about, because she would just say macaroni casserole that Mama used to make, which is what they call my mom. And just a second, y'all. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we got all that done. And the pan that I have, it is actually from Walmart. It comes with a lid that you can put on it after it's done, so you don't have to take it out of the pan. You can just keep it in the pan and put a lid on it. Okay, so the cake is in the oven. Now, I probably won't show you how to do the icing because I will have to use the mixer for that, but I will tell you how they say to do it. It's 1 stick of butter, 2/3 cups of your cocoa, 3 cups of your powdered sugar, which I have back in the back, well, behind the camera there, 1/3 cup of milk, and your teaspoon of vanilla. Your butter I always use mine slightly soft. It's not quite there yet because I just set it out. Then, let's see, it says, oh, you got to melt the butter. Okay, then stir in cocoa, and it says alternately add powdered sugar and milk, beating to spreading consistency. Add small amounts of additional milk if needed. Stir in vanilla, and it says it makes about 2 cups of frosting. And then on the bottom of this, well, I usually don't get this size. I usually get a smaller one, but it gives you tips for a richer, they call it for rich chocolate desserts. Try Hershey's Cocoa recipes. In recipes calling for baking chocolate. So like 3 level tablespoons of cocoa plus 1 tablespoon of shortening or oil equals 1 ounce unsweetened baking chocolate. And then 1 level tablespoon of cocoa plus 2 teaspoons of shortening plus 3.5 teaspoons sugar equals 1 ounce semi-sweet baking chocolate. That's something good to know. Then it has right here perfectly hot cocoa, and it also has a recipe on here called Favorite Hot Cocoa. Don't need that no more. But that is it for this video. Like I said, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have any other videos that you'd like to see, just leave a comment down below and we'll get that worked on. We'll talk to you in the next video.